Always great catching up with Curtis Blaydes, who had one of the best fights of all time against Josh Hokit. You guys remember it from a couple months back. And wanted to talk to Curtis about what's next and how life's been since the fight. My name is James Lynch here for Home of Fight. Curtis, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. Just relaxing out here in Texas, hanging out with the fam. But happy to be here on the show with you.
Yeah, well, thanks for making time, especially away from the family. How was your Memorial Day? We're recording this a day after.
It was nice. We went to a barbecue, got to hang out. We didn't get to use the pool because it rained, but still got to relax, have a few drinks.
Yeah,
it was cool.
Have a good time. That's awesome. So I mentioned it off the top, man. What a fight that was with Josh Hokit. I think people are still talking about that fight and everything that happened. How are you doing now, health-wise? Because it was a war, man. You guys, if you look at the significant strikes, it was pretty incredible how much you guys landed for a 3-round fight. So health-wise, I mean, you seem good, but how are you feeling?
Yeah, health-wise, yeah, I would say 80% because I'm still waiting on my nose to heal. I got the surgery on it. What was that? April 28th, and the healing process is about 6 to 12 weeks. That's a pretty big gap. So I have a checkup in like a month, and then hopefully the doctor gives me the green light, and I can get back into the gym, drilling, doing conditioning. Because right now, I haven't really, up until today, I haven't really been able to work out because I'm not allowed to get my head. You know, like when you work out, your head gets all hot and all the blood.
Yeah. No, you don't want the blood going up there. Yeah, things are still healing, inflammation, all that stuff, right? So I'm not a doctor, but I do know that. So that certainly makes some sense. What has it been like for you since the fight? Because I feel like in some ways you got more attention for this fight and a loss than you did with some of your wins. Has that been kind of weird? I mean, I'm sure you're embracing it all too, that people have really looked back on this fight and thought, this is one of the best fights of all time.
It is weird. It is very, what's the word?
Ciryl?
Yeah. Because, like you said, I wouldn't have expected. Like, honestly, this is the best response I've ever had in a loss, like, from the public's view or perspective. Like, usually when you lose, you're just expecting to get shitted on by the online community. But it's been a direct opposite of that. And that is unique. I am enjoying it. It's a way more positive feeling in the other option. And I do hope. I hope this is going to be the fight of the year. I don't know how that works. I don't know who does the voting on that, but I'm hoping we can get that. And then also later down the line, maybe even get this into the Hall of Fame. The fight.
Yeah.
I've been like, people have been bringing it up to me like, oh, do you think it's, because I wasn't even thinking about the Hall of Fame, but it's been brought up to me so many times on my streams and just in interactions. I have been thinking about it, and I'm like, I do think it's worthy. I do.
Yeah. Well, no, you're right. And I think when you talk about heavyweight fights, especially, I think the only other one that people can talk about was Bigfoot Silva and Mark Hunt, right? And that's sort of the only one. But this one, obviously, more recent. And I just think in general, just the way the fight played out, it was pretty incredible. Did you notice like a bigger following on social media and your streams and stuff after the fight? Because you said you got a lot of positive reinforcement.
Absolutely. That's been the biggest jump. Is I think on Instagram, I gained like 25,000, which
nice.
Is pretty good after a loss, and then on my Twitch I've gained like 25 subscribers and like 100 followers. That's good also, and I'm hoping to do a stream with Holloway.
Oh, cool.
Probably after he has his McGregor fight, but yeah, I know that's only. That opportunity only became a realistic option because of what happened after my fight.
Yeah, which is awesome and well deserved. Again, it was an amazing fight. Let me ask you this: I don't know if you can remember, but was there anyone that like reached out or acknowledged the fight that you weren't expecting? Maybe like a celebrity or something? Because I saw everyone talking about this fight after the fact. Or like maybe like a fighter too that you weren't expecting?
Well, no, I think the dopest recognition I received was from Big Nog.
Mhm.
He commented on one of my posts, and he was like, "Yeah, I was the great." He said that was the greatest fight he's ever seen, and that means everything
Mhm.
from a guy like that. Like
I
with
agree.
his resume that he's had and the wars he's been in, that means a lot.
I believe you were sort of waiting to see what was going on with your contract. I got to imagine the UFC is going to re-sign you, or if they haven't already. What's the latest on that?
Still waiting. They aren't renegotiating. That was the last update I got from my management, and that was
Okay.
about a week ago.
Oh, okay. So still in
hoping that's a good
negotiation.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm very very confident I will get a new deal. It's just the numbers, and hopefully it's a raise. I would like that, but I am very confident I will be re-signing at least a 4-fight deal.
Yeah. And that would bring you, I think, to retirement with the UFC, which not a lot of fighters can say they can do, right? I would imagine.
Yeah. No, that's the older I get, the more I think about like how I want this road to end. And I look at guys for inspiration like Drew Dober, like uh, Neil Agnew. I want to be like that. I want to be in the UFC as long as I can, and I want to end with the UFC. I want to have a legacy like theirs, and I think I think that's a very achievable goal. I mean, I could see myself at the end maybe taking like a random a boxing match. Maybe I get to do boxing against Ngannou if he's active still, something like that, just on the way out. But in terms of MMA, I do believe that I will only be with the UFC, and when I do end, it'll be with the UFC, and I'll be happy with that.
Have you gone back and rewatched the fight yet?
Oh yeah, I've rewatched it once with my boxing coach and once with my brother, and both times getting to watch it with two different people, hearing their perspectives. Because me, in my head, when I watch it, I only see like like the mistakes I made, and my coach and my brother are just like, no, look at that. Oh, look at that you did. Look how it's nice watching it with someone else, and then hearing out of their mouths the positive things. Because for me, it's always hard for me to pick out the positives and like not focus on the mistakes I made.
Yeah.
Which I know there was a lot of mistakes, but there's a lot of good also.
What was the biggest takeaway, you think, just from everyone you've talked to? What were some things that you took away from that fight that you'll bring into your next one?
Body work, or just being a lot more intentional. There was a lot of like exchanges where I'm just going. It's just bloodlust. I'm not really making active, intelligent decisions, and that was the biggest thing. Like, there were times I had him up against the cage where one good rip to the liver or a knee up the middle might have been able to end it. And I think another big obvious one was getting my head off. Like when I'm punching, a lot of the time I'm just punching like this instead of getting my head off when I am. So I think those are the biggest ones. More body work and getting my head offline as I'm punching.
And you got to feel happy too, because one of the things I kept hearing going into the fight, Josh is going to knock him out. And I know, you did land some good shots early, but you went 3 rounds with them. I think these, all this narrative about you don't have a good chin and all this stuff. Like, I mean, I think you showed in this fight that you can go 3 rounds and fight a guy who does have knockout power.
I've been hearing that for like the last 2 or 3 years now. That I have a glass jaw. I'm like, what? Who started that? Like, I think it's a lie. I don't know who began it, but hopefully that's been dispelled. Because I did eat 140, 150 strikes.
Yeah. No, just wanted to point that out. I thought that was a positive too. Do you think you will fight again this year? Just, I know you're not a doctor, I'm not a doctor, but do you think if you get cleared, do you think you'll get another fight, or do you think more so next year just to be safe?
I could see one like after Halloween,
Mhm.
like mid-November or
Yeah,
early
like winter
December.
probably. Yeah, like late winter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. And I guess as far as the next opponent, just wait to see how the division looks because could look different. We just got Gable Steveson in the UFC now. Like, things could change a lot pretty quickly, right?
Yeah, there's a few of the light heavyweights or heavyweights now.
Yeah, and Rakic is up there now. I think Johnny Walker. So there's a lot of fun names now.
Yeah. Right now, I'm looking at it could potentially be Spivak because he's
Yep.
ranked one spot ahead of me. It could be Waldo because he lost, but also I know he likes to be active, so I don't know if he wants to wait or if Hokit gets beat by Derrick Lewis,
Mhm.
I'd like to get a rematch with Derrick.
Yeah, for sure. Well, you jumped ahead to my next question, actually. What did you make of Hokit getting a fight rebooked the night of your fight? I think a lot of us saw that and went, like, that's kind of cutting it close because you guys were just in a war, right?
Yeah. If I was this homie, which I'm not, but if I was this homie, I would be like, bro, I don't think it's a good idea to enter into a fight. What is it? 6 weeks, 7 weeks
Yeah.
after a war against a knockout artist.
Mhm.
And yeah, granted, he is old. He doesn't have any grappling, but he is a knockout artist.
Yeah.
And he's entering into this fight with what we can assume is a compromised. Like I hit him a lot, so you think he's been able to spar? I doubt it. I doubt he's been able to spar. He's probably just been doing drills and conditioning. And granted, you may not have to spar to go against a guy like a Derrick Lewis because it's not like he's high pace or anything. But still, you gotta be worried about him entering into this fight. Not even 8 weeks time off against a knockout artist. Now, people have been asking me, who do I think is going to win?
I was going to ask you that. You read my mind. You read my mind. Who do you think wins?
Because the Derrick that we saw against Waldo, like who was that? Like what was that? So if he gets that Derrick, yeah, he can take him down and smush him and beat him easily like that. But if he gets a more motivated Derrick Lewis and he's got the compromised jaw, I kind of lean into Derrick. So it's very hard. Like it really depends on how motivated is Derrick Lewis. That's really what it is, and we won't be able to determine that until we get to the fight. So
But if you could guess, if someone's like you have to pick someone, who you picking?
I go Hokit just because based off of Derrick's last performance, and we can only judge you off your last performance. He doesn't look like he wants to be there.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. We're going to skip to Poirier and Gaethje because obviously we know which side you're on that. But I wanted to get your thoughts a bit on the Pereira and Gane fight. Now that we're getting closer to that one, where do you lean on that fight? Because that's to me that's one of the most interesting fights we got coming up this year.
I'm going Alex. I don't know if that's like the controversial pick.
Odds are close, actually. Odds are close. Yeah.
That's what I would say because it is heavyweight, and we gotta look at the opponents. Either one of them wants to grapple. One guy has more of an old school high, just pressure, high guard type of offense, Alex, and the other guy likes to be in and out, in and out. And I think Alex is going to be able to just like walk him down, chop at his leg, eat it, jab at the body to slow him down and make him more stationary, and then get him with that big hook. I think if I'm him, that's the game plan. We slow him down with the kicks. We make angles. We shorten the cage. We make the cage smaller, reduce the movement, and I believe in Alex's KO power. I think he does hit like a heavyweight, and I think if he's able to land that big hook, and it could be first round or fifth round. I really believe in his power and just the experience. He's had a lot of high high leverage opponents, and he's been in a lot of title fights, and so is Gane, but Gane hasn't really been able to win one.
Yeah.
So I give all the experience point. I mean, the like it was a video game, and I'm doing like points like the experience, power, speed. A lot of it, I'm giving it to Alex. A lot of the advantages.
What did you make of Sean Strickland defeating Chimaev? A lot of people felt that, I mean, going to the scorecards, I wasn't sure which way it was going to go. I thought it might have gone Chimaev's way, but what did you make of Strickland pulling it off and defying the odds and beating the seemingly unbeatable Chimaev?
Extremely impressive. His defensive grappling. There was a point where he was able to put Khamzat on his back, and I looked away and I looked up. I was like, "Oh shit, he's on his back. What happened?" I thought he dropped him. No, it was just a grappling exchange that he won. So I'm not gonna say I was shocked. I was very happy. I did get a little scared in the fourth round when Chimaev was able to beat Strickland on the feet, and that I was like, "Oh no, if he beats you on the feet, that means he'll have energy to be able to take you down in the fifth round. He'll just be able to." And just having heart is like almost half the battle. Because I think that was a fight he won on heart. It wasn't the most technical. There wasn't anything super flashy. It was just him having a heart to keep on jabbing and keep on pressuring. And I was very happy because I picked him to win. I didn't pick him with like 100% confidence, but that's who I wanted to win.
Yeah. Okay. That's fair. What did you think of the MVP card? And obviously Francis making quick work of Felipe Lins. What do you make of that whole event?
I thought I'll be honest, it looked cheap.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be mean, but it didn't look like a big high production like event. It looks like, because I've been to LFA events that looked a little nicer than that, and I don't think the matchups were great. It wasn't like a fight that I was like, wow, that was a great fight, because Ngannou destroyed. And the dude that gave Ngannou, he looked like a light heavyweight.
He was a light heavyweight. Lins mainly fought at light heavyweight.
So small. He had no business being in there with Francis. Harry versus Diaz, that was hard to watch. Mm-hmm. It went about how we all expected that to go. An older guy who didn't really belong in there with a young power puncher, and Diaz was just a walking punching bag. That was
yeah.
Hopefully that was his last one. And then Ronda Gina, I'm not gonna lie, I know it's not rigged, but that one, it felt rigged. It felt like
it did end pretty quickly. But to Ronda's credit, I mean, that's how she was winning fights in the UFC when you watched her like compete. Like she beat, I mean, I think if you took like 3 of her fights combined, they were all like less than a minute. Like it was crazy.
Man, maybe, I don't know.
Okay, fair enough. Listen, I'm not going to argue with a fighter here, but yeah, that's fine.
It was the way that she got that takedown so easy. And then Gina goes for a terrible guillotine. Like, everyone knows you don't go for a guillotine when someone's in that deep on you. And then she holds it for too long, allows Ronda to easily mount. Ronda peppers her with like 4. It didn't look like they were the heaviest punches, and then she just turns over and gives her an arm. I was like, what? You did everything bad you could have done. You did them. Everything bad.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, that's fair. Okay, 2 more quick ones. I saw you did an interview with Bedtime MMA. I know the streaming's going well, and you're kind of going on that side too, and obviously Bedtime's been one of the biggest names on there. How cool is that to kind of do something a bit different?
That was dope. I've been watching Bedtime for 3 years now. I think the very first time I watched one of his videos was him reacting to me losing to Pavlovich, and he's always been a big fan of mine, so he was very upset. But I wasn't angry at him. Like, he gave his honest assessment. That's what I don't mind. I don't mind. If you can give me an honest reason for why you think I performed bad, obviously I did perform bad. I'm not gonna be angry about that. I also I'm hoping to do an interview with the Guru.
Oh yeah, MMA Guru. Okay, I think that would be great. Yeah.
Also.
Yeah, no, it's good, and because that's a whole, because obviously I'm more on the media side of things, but that YouTube side of things is huge, and it's a totally different audience, and I think it's something a lot of fighters should be tapping into. Like we see Armin doing more of the kick stuff, and there's a huge audience there, and that's where a lot of people are watching their content, especially younger people, right?
I think it's a great way. Like I feel very comfortable interacting with fans on my stream. I guess I don't wanna make it a parasocial thing, but some of them, like, you get used to interacting with them. You're like, oh, I like this guy. He's cool. You hear about their lives. You hear about their families. Like, oh, I went to watch the Knicks game. I was like, oh, that's dope. Yeah, wish I could have went.
Yeah.
I do enjoy interacting like this, and I do believe I'll be doing this for the foreseeable future.
Good stuff. Curtis, I won't keep you any longer. Go enjoy the time with the family in Texas. Anything you want to mention, your stream, all that stuff, I'll give you the last word.
I got new sponsors.
Oh, awesome. Let's hear them. Yeah, I always give time for sponsors.
I want to give a shout out to my sponsor, Alp. They are a nicotine pouch company. I'm not sure if they have them up there in Canada, but they have them here in the States.
Okay.
And I'd also like to give a shout out to my sponsor, Zaply. It's a supplement.
Oh, I take that. They sent me some stuff too. They're pretty good. Yeah, I had it's like it's all supplement. Yeah, they reached out to me as well. So that's awesome.
Yeah, they're good people. They're paying me good money. So
yeah. Well, I listen. I've just had the supplements. I mean, they're good. They're the all around like multivitamin that you need, right? So it's good. Get your day going. So there you go. Any other sponsors? Anything else you got?
No, that's it for now. But I'm happy to have those sponsors.